I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. Let me tell you something. This is my fitness, I don't know, a series. I don't know what to tell you. And we're going to get healthy over here. I am telling you, we have a fitness coach. Valerie's here to talk about it. We're going to be talking about a few different things. And so make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification bell wherever you are, whether you're on Vimeo, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, I don't care. Make sure you're following, because me and Valerie, we're going to be talking about some stuff, and you just might be the main character that needs to benefit from it, because I know I am. Hi, Valerie. How are you?
Hi, guys. Hi. So happy to be here. This is exciting.
Oh, it is exciting. Okay, so we're talking about fitness, but let's go back into you and let's talk about how you got into it.
You know, fitness, when I was younger, I was a gymnast. I always enjoyed working out. I enjoyed the gym. And then I ended up having 4 babies and did life and got back into fitness probably when I would say I'm 50, almost 52. So probably about 40, I started getting back into fitness, because I realized for me, fitness was more than just a look. It was, it's my sanity. It's my, I just feel better. It's not even about a look. It's about what it makes you feel like, getting in there and exercising and moving your muscles around. And so that's, I don't miss it, because for me, it's like I eat, I sleep, I do the things, I work out. It's just part of my everyday life, because I feel like after a certain age, it really is important as well in so many different areas, as far as even just osteoporosis. You want to do some weightlifting for you keep your bones strong. There's a million benefits of working out that have nothing to do with the look side of it as well.
Right. And you're 52 and you still look good, girl.
Well, almost 52, but I'm saying it's like, oh, it's creeping up on me, but I feel 25. So, I mean, there's got to be exercise has to be doing something for me.
Definitely. I'm 50.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel great. I don't exercise every day. And I think that's one of the misconceptions as well, but let's get into it. So you say you started at around 40?
Yes.
Getting back in after how many kids?
I have 4 kids.
My goodness, girl, go ahead. I'm too shy of you. I couldn't do it.
Yes, I have 4 kids. My oldest is 32 and my youngest is 20. So
I hear you. I did the same thing. Oldest is 30, 31, and the youngest is 20. So,
okay.
But getting back into shape after having the children, what was that like for you?
It's just for me, it's a journey. And I will say, I know people out there say it's just so hard to go back, and it is. But what's harder, letting your body deteriorate day after day after day, and then you're now 6 months down the road, a year down the road, 5 years down the road. You just have to kind of bite the bullet, they say, and get back in there, as hard as it is, because there's no easier way around just getting back into it, right? You just have to make that commitment for yourself and just, know all the benefits of it and do something that you enjoy. I want to say that too, because there's so many things that you can do that fitness wise that you can enjoy. Some people are like, well, I don't like, lifting heavy weights. Okay, great. You don't have to lift heavy weights. Or I don't like running. Great. You don't have to run. There's so many things that you can do. And if you haven't found something that you love doing, then try some different things. Try Pilates or kickboxing. There's just so many different things now that you can get out there, spin classes that you can try. And who knows, you probably find something that you fall in love with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and then there's injuries. Yes. And then there's injuries that take you out of the game, but then there's rehab that you can do. So you never really truly have to be down completely. You can do something. Okay, so you can do something in your bed, right? In your chair.
Yep.
I mean, on your couch.
Exactly.
I mean, do you have to get up and run?
Nope. I have some clients that will sit in their chair and they will throughout the day do 10 squats where they sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, and it gets their heart rate up. And they're like, oh, I got my heart rate up. I feel good. I feel like, there's baby steps. There's every end of the spectrum of where you can start. You have to listen to your body. And like you said, we want to always avoid injuries at all costs. So when I'm training with people or even myself, if I feel anything off, I stop, because it's not worth it. It's not worth, pulling something, tearing something. You really have to listen to yourself.
Yeah. And I've done that. I've tore something. I've pulled something.
Yes.
I've broken something.
Yeah.
I've done all that. Karate, you do all that. I mean, it's just, it's one of those extreme sports. But at the same time, okay, so we're talking about sports, we're talking about getting in shape. But after kids, or even after a moment of not working out, some people have never worked out in their lives. And now we have this new thing called insulin resistance.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that that's kind of like a rephrasing of diabetes and pre-diabetes to me.
You know, our diets as a whole are just full of carbohydrates. And even things like that we think that we're eating good that are fruit in all the carbs, and all that does is break down to sugar, no different if you had a candy bar. And we're thinking, oh, I had a bowl of fruit for this, and I had a bowl of oatmeal here, and I had some rice here, and I had, throughout the day. And the older we get, the less of that we really should have. And so I think, a lot of times I've had clients are like, I am eating a healthy diet. And you do sit down and look at each thing on there. Okay, that could be healthy, that could be healthy, that could be healthy. But too much of a good thing isn't necessarily a good thing, right?
Oh, no.
So it's being mindful, knowing what ingredients are in the things that you're eating, knowing, the basic things, between the carb and the fat and the protein, and realizing, what your carbs are in if I were to tell someone, I would start there to start with trying to lower the carb intake, especially if you are insulin, resistant, like you said.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I started off with that, and now, being very active now, getting into the gym at least 2 to 3 times a week. And then if I'm not in the gym, I'm cutting my grass, I'm doing something different, I'm getting my heart rate up. I mean, there's just so many different things, like you said, that you can do to get that heart rate up. You don't necessarily have to go into the gym. You know,
Exactly.
clean your house, vacuum, instead of using the vacuum cleaner, for some certain things, kind of get down on your knees and scrub a little bit, that'll get your heart rate up. I mean, there's just so many different things, but insulin resistance in itself, I think, is just one of those things where it's a combination of not being physically active enough to burn the carb,
Yes.
and also eating too much of it, and then also your prerequisite of your DNA.
Yes. All of that plays a combination. It all plays in. So it's a balance, it's a balancing act of staying active, being mindful of what you're eating. And then your DNA, like you're right, because there's certain people, like we spoke about earlier, that,
Yeah.
you just wonder, they have great numbers and they're not doing any of it. And it's like, oh, that's not fair. They just
I
have
know,
a
right? I
different
hate you.
DNA.
I
They
hate you.
got lucky somehow.
I tell all my friends, I don't like you very much right now. And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, okay.
No, and
That's
also
fair.
just simple things too. You were saying the things that you can do. You can even, like, I try to be mindful. I used to always want that front parking spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I want that front parking spot. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to park out and I'm going to walk. Or if I have the opportunity to take the elevator or the stairs, I'm going to take the stairs. Just like you're saying, there's different things throughout the day that we can do that really don't add any more work in, but yet it's getting us a little more, our heart rate up, elevated.
Right. Right. Definitely. Definitely. So, I mean, okay. So I find that 99%, maybe I should go down. Maybe I should say like 80% of everything that's out there, all of these tests, all of these things that they say, oh, you can lose 10 pounds in 1 week. All this stuff is geared towards men. And then the women think that that's geared towards you. What's the difference between weight loss in a male and a weight loss in a female? Because I know it's different.
They're completely different than us. You're right. Their makeup's different. Their hormone levels play a huge role. They don't have the hormone levels that we have. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to deal with all of that.
No.
A man can just cut Cokes. In 1 week, he lost 10 pounds. I can cut Coke and I gained 2 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being very serious. I'm laughing about it, but I've actually done that where
Oh my gosh.
something and I'm like, I am up 2 pounds. And then
Why?
it's like, okay, this is just not fair.
I know it's not. It's like, okay, you do everything. It's like, oh yeah, girlfriend, I'm doing it. I'm down to like under 60 carbs a day.
Right.
I'm doing it this. I'm taking more fiber. Next thing you know, you're 5 pounds heavier. It's like, what the heck happened? Why
I,
is
I,
that?
I, from my experience here, I have learned that there is not one of us is the same.
No.
And so really getting to learn your body, what works for you, what doesn't work for me. For me, because of trial and error, I know if I want to lose weight for myself, I have to have my carbs 60 or below.
Mhm.
I also need to eat enough calories. So I can't go into starvation mode. So I need to have enough protein. I need to have enough fat. And my carbs need to be in the middle of the day. So it needs to be like around noon, 1 o'clock. So not before bed. You know, when I do that, I literally, my body will then start dropping the weight. But that's worked for me. And I have certain clients that, they can have higher carbs and they still drop the weight, just depending when they have them. They'll have high carb before they work out and high carb after. And they're like, my body just burns it up and I'm good. And they keep losing weight. So it's really trying to figure out what works for you. But the worst thing that a woman can do is not eat,
Mm.
because you got to think about this. So let's say, you're at a campfire and we're putting the logs in the fire to keep it going. The fire's going out, so we put a log in. The fire's going out, so we put a log in. That's what happens to our metabolism. And so we think we're not eating, but we just put the fire out. We just literally killed our metabolism. And so by not eating, and you're losing, then when you do start eating normally, then you're like, why am I gaining all this weight? Well, you completely shut your metabolism down. And if you get to a place that you're never hungry and you don't eat, that's because you have shut your metabolism down. That's a red flag. That's not a good thing to say, well, I'm not hungry, I don't eat. It really is like, oh, like it's not a good thing. So we need to keep that fire going. We need to, every few hours be putting in nutrition. And I have found, having a protein with your carb, it helps to break it down in the body where it, for whatever reason, it seems to work better for most people when you have both the combination, and you keep eating throughout the day. You have little meals throughout the day, so you're keeping your metabolism going. And you should be getting hungry by the next meal. It should be, oh, like 3 hours. Okay, I need to eat something. I'm feeling hungry. That's a good
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree with you, definitely, because, but I mean, everybody's different, like you said.
Yeah.
So me, I'm the same way as you. I mean,
Mhm.
not with the carb thing, with the 60 carbs. I can eat more carbs because I pretty much go all day long, but my carbs have to be certain carbs. It can't be like pasta, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
No
can't
pasta
have
for
pasta.
me. No.
I can't have pasta. I
I
can
can't.
have pasta. I treat myself with macaroni and cheese once a month. Woo! And that once a month, I'm good. It doesn't make me gain any weight because I've been keeping my metabolism going, and it just eats it all up and it goes through. So, but I have to actually I had to add a probiotic, a
Yes.
prebiotic, and a probiotic, and garlic, as
Yes.
well as like these um bread slices. They have very high fiber.
Yeah.
So I'm
Fiber. You want 20, they
yeah.
say 25 grams of fiber a day. And that is really hard to get in.
Actually, for me, it's not, because you know what I do with it? There's this thing that I have. It's fiber, and one scoop is like 17.
Yeah.
And I put that in there, and
Yeah.
I'll do a smoothie with it, and it helps me to lose weight. So as long as if I have a sugar and I have a fiber with the sugar, I still lose weight. But the moment
Yeah.
I just do the sugar, which is like the fruit smoothie or whatever, and I don't put any fiber in it, I'm gaining
Right.
like 2 pounds,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
The fiber is key. The fiber is a big, big deal. And then I have a doctor that I'm working with coming in January. We might have some things coming up, but he has this big program. He's out of New Jersey, and we're putting some stuff together. But with this blood work test, it shows what foods that are not, it's a blood test, and you send it to your front door and you prick your finger, send it in, and it tells you what foods aren't good for your body.
I would love that.
So it's so basically, like, people will get the test back and it'll say like blueberries, avocado, apples, oats. It'll have these things on here, right? That aren't good for our body. And maybe in time you could have it, but sometimes things that we have so repetitively, our body starts reacting differently to them. And so what happens is your body becomes inflammatory, because these foods aren't good for us. And we're like, but I'm eating so healthy. What is going on? And they don't realize, and then he has, he works with a lot of people, and they do this test, and then they literally follow the guideline for their blood work, and their weight just starts falling off, because they're like, oh,
Wow.
wait, I love
Wow.
blueberries, I eat them all the time, but I'm not supposed to
I
have
do.
them. And so
Really? Oh my gosh, no.
it's not good, but in time it could be. It just because I had
Yeah.
so many blueberries, and I like them so much that it did something. And it doesn't mean forever, but then you can do the blood work again, down the road a year or so, and see what's changed. But it'll give you, like, what's high to kind of stay away from, neutral. And I've seen people following that. So that, that kind of tweaks it down even more, because that's, you know, down to the science of, okay, for your body, you should probably try to stay away from a few of these things. So I do like that. And
Wow.
we're working on some things right now to put that together. But
That would
um,
be amazing. I would love to get the information when you get that so that we can put it
yeah,
in the description box below so
yeah,
people can actually, and I want to check it out too. Because I mean, you know, you do your due diligence to try and cut out the things that they say that you know, but like you said, blueberries. I mean, come on, figure blueberries are really good. I love blueberries. I
and then
literally will eat blueberries by themselves.
exactly, and they're so good. And then there's another test we're going to be offering too. And a lot of people, I don't want to say most people, but a lot of people have leaky gut.
Yeah.
They don't even know it. And so whenever that starts happening, you're not even digesting correctly. Your nutrients aren't being absorbed correctly. So some people are always hungry. They're like, I mean, I eat and I'm starving and I eat again, and I eat and I'm starving and I eat again. And it's because the gut health isn't right. So he's going to be offering that. He already does now, but we're going to put some things together for that as well. But
Mhm.
like I said, it's getting to learn your body and
Yeah.
doing the research. And if you're really wanting to keep dialing in and keep, you know, getting
Yeah,
closer,
definitely.
you know, to help, you know, just working on your health, which is,
Definitely. Definitely. Go ahead.
so I think that was that on that.
Okay. No, you kind of cut off. Okay. All
Sorry.
right. No, it's okay. And you have a book as well.
I do have a book. Yes.
Tell me about that.
So my book is it's not really on my fitness too much. It's called Maksymizing Life. I don't know if you can see the book here,
Uh-huh.
but I wrote the book because I have lived my entire life not knowing who I was. I,
Mm.
you know, was raised in an era of, I had a thumb on me. You were only to be seen, not heard. And then I got into two really, really bad toxic relationships when I was married. And so I got married first at 19. I was pregnant, divorced at 30, married at 30, divorced at 45. So never, ever on my own. No college degree. You know, I was always a stay-at-home mom. And I finally was with panic attacks, a husband that tried to kill me, just all the stuff that I had been through, didn't know who I was, had no voice. I literally couldn't talk in front of people. I was existing. I was literally living to just get through the next breath, to the next breath, to the next breath, just trying to figure, you know, this is not how you should live your life, you know? And when I left, February of 8 years, when I left, I decided, I'm the common denominator in all this, and I need to figure out how to fix it. So fitness and me, I compete in bodybuilding shows. Fitness is my therapy. It's what helped me with my healing, and it helped me to find things out about myself. You know, you're pushing yourself so extreme physically that it helps you push other areas of your life. So I went from literally surviving to thriving. I went from zero confidence to full confidence. I went from not talking to people to not afraid to be on stages and speaking to people. And you know, I did not know it was possible to get to a place in life where I'm at right now, that I am just happy. I mean, there's nothing I need. There is nothing I want. I'm happy. My kids are happy. My kids have healed because I healed. They just watched me heal. I didn't say anything. And it was just an amazing. So my last name is Maksym. So the book is Maksymizing Life. And it's just basically, you know, maximizing life means the freedom to be you, because I am very big on letting people be authentic and true to them. I love all cultures. I love all nationalities. I love all religion. Like I love people. I love diversity. And I feel like, you know, when people can just embrace who they are, there's nothing better to me than seeing an authentic person, like just being true to themselves. Right. I mean, on all levels, I get so excited when I see it's, you know, people just being them. It's like, wow, that's what life is supposed to be. You know, what happened when we were like 10, 12 years old and we're twirling around the house and we're singing and we're being us. And, you know what I'm saying? Just being us, not caring who thinks anything about us. And then where did we get in life that we quit and we cave and we stop being us, and we're scared to talk, and we hurting their feelings, or we, you know, I don't know. And then you just start living for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Maksymizing Life, my big slogan is, which I have a lot of things coming on that, and some things is unleash your inner superhero. We all have one. And literally that means to unleash your self-confidence. Like, who are you? Just be you, do you. Like, if you want to, if you're a dancer, dance how you dance. If you're, whatever you are, just be the best at it, right? Because God has given all of us certain gifts and talents. And a lot of people live their whole life and never, you talk to them and they never pursue it because somebody told them, oh, you're not good at that, or you're too old, or you're this, or you're that, or you're not, and you listen to other people's opinions and not what is in your heart. And so that's my big platform of just really, my passion is to pull it out of people, like, pull out that we all have so much to bring to this world, and too many people are dying and not bringing to the world what they needed to bring to this world.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally
Okay.
agree with you. They say that the richest place right now on earth, and there's a lot of them, are the graveyards.
Yes. And people are just scared. They listen to the voice in their head. So when I wrote the book, it's a very short book. It has notes in the back of it, but my first chapter, I had this vision and I kind of spoke it out because it kind of came to me. And it just said, Valerie, you have been in control of your life the entire time. Your entire life, you have been in control, but you have chosen to hang on to the baggage of your past. And so your airplane was too heavy and you couldn't fly. You couldn't fly to the place you need to go to because it was too heavy, with the hurt and the disappointment and the trying to figure this out, and this person hurt you and this. And when you finally let that go and you forgave and you forgave yourself, now your plane is light and you're going to soar to places you never thought possible.
Mm.
And so that's kind of the first chapter, is the forgiveness. Then I went into self-love because I didn't even know what that meant till I was like 45. I didn't even have any clue what that even was. Like, I thought that was selfish because I was raised, you just give and serve. What do you mean self-love? Like, I got to be serving and giving. And so then I talk a little bit about that. And then when you want to have self-love, well, how do you get there? Well, you've got to find those, figure out what your the self-talk is in your head that's stopping you. We call those limiting beliefs, and how we work through those. And then I go into we become vulnerable in life. So we're very vulnerable. And by being vulnerable, we get hurt. So then we're like, well, I'm never doing that again. So the walls go up.
Yeah.
I was the queen of walls up, like the queen. I have walls on top of walls on top of walls, around walls on top of walls. You were not going to get close. And people were like, nobody could even get close to you. But when I look back, I went 50 years and I look back, and all that did was keep the good and the good opportunities out and the people that needed to be in my life out, because I kept everybody out.
Wow.
And so that's just kind of the premise. And, the book, my kids talk in my book. And so that's just kind of the premise of the book, but it's things that I've learned. My dad passed away at 12 years old, and I watched him pass away, and we never spoke about it the next day. I didn't address my dad's death till I was 50 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And so by not addressing it, I created patterns in my life.
Yeah.
Because I learned this on my journey, and I write about it. The pattern I created was, when anything traumatic happens to me, it's immediately under the rug, like it didn't happen. So I had two men in a relationship, and they all did their cheating things on me and that. And I'm like, okay, why does every man I'm with cheat on me? Why? But the next moment I'm like, well, where are we going to dinner? Let's go on vacation. Let's go. I would just dismiss it like it didn't even happen. And I'm looking back on that and I'm like, why did I do that? And it's because it went all the way back from not healing when I was 12 and thinking, they say time heals all things. I disagree with that, because by not healing, and now I'm 50 and I never addressed it, I created these patterns, and I didn't have any self-love. So when there's no self-love, there's no boundaries. And when there's no boundaries, people just treat you however you allow them to treat you. And so it's
Yeah.
this whole like toxic cycle. And so my passion is to help people maximize their life, every area of their life, take it to that next level, being mindful little by little by little, to just keep maximizing and keep, pushing and living outside that comfort zone and doing the things that are scary anyways. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of my passion, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I agree with you. There's just so many different things that hinder people from moving forward in their lives, and then sweeping things under the rug is a commonality
Mhm.
for women. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of women that have done that in all
yeah,
races and all
yeah,
creeds, countries, and everything. And
right.
it's sad. It really truly is sad that we don't know who we are. But I am so happy that you now know who you are. You've been able to clean up your life, psychologically speaking, so that you could deal with what the things that, your prerequisites that should not have been there. You know what
Right.
I mean? And now you have a book about it. That is amazing. And I think that's going to help people, you know what I mean? To understand that they've been probably doing that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we don't get a manual with life. You know what I'm saying? Like we
No,
don't have a
I
little,
wish.
here, this is how you handle this when
No,
this happens, or this, or this, or this. So it's life experiences. And I like to learn from people who are further ahead of me, so I don't make the same mistakes. So I'm hoping that I can inspire other people with my story too, that they can like learn faster and not take 50 years to get to where I'm at.
I hear that. I hear that, sister, because I wish I had a manual when my baby was born. I'd be like, okay, where's the manual for this one? Okay. It's a girl. Oh gosh.
Right.
Gosh. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
so so
Yeah.
wow. So okay, so going back to fitness, and
Huh?
then now with the fitness, you said that healed you, and that is your healing, that is your sanity.
Mhm.
Um, as people get into fitness, as they begin to understand their bodies, and also with the new program that you guys have coming out very soon,
Right.
what kind of advice do you give to them today?
As far as how to start their
Yeah.
journey, or how to get
How do,
on.
how does, yep. How do you start that journey? How do you find yourself? How do you start loving yourself and understanding that fitness is a key part of it? Because then you're healing yourself at the same time.
Right. Right. We have to realize we're multiple things: emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. We're not just one thing. And kind of how you said, with the eating, and it all works together. So everything works together. But I don't want to overwhelm people. When I sit down and talk to somebody, I really listen to them talk. That I listen to what they say and don't say, and that's with my life coaching. And I find, what do you like? If someone says, man, I just love going on walks, then I say, great. When's the last time you went on a walk? Well, I don't know. I don't do that. Okay. Well, what do you think about your neighborhood? You could just walk around the block, let's say 2 times, twice this week. Let's see how that, sometimes it's just baby steps. Sometimes it's just putting it in your calendar and just starting somewhere small. When you're out at the restaurants, a lot of restaurants now have calories. If you just start there on their meals, even salads, I go someplace and the salad has 1,200 calories. I'm like, oh, okay, time out.
I
Really
know.
realizing, as women, I know for me, when I did the test where you blow in this thing, for me to maintain my weight, I only get 1,500 calories a day. So if I'm going to have a salad that's that much, so it's just being aware and being mindful of what you're putting in your mouth, and just even if you can cut back some. That's what I would tell people. Sometimes we don't want to say, oh, we're taking everything away from you, no more of this, and that people won't do that, right? But if we can start just cutting it back and saying, okay, well, how about if we just cut it back? Or if your portion sizes are usually you go back for seconds, how about we take the seconds away and we just do one? So every person's different, but I would just say scale back a little bit on the food, and do things that you can do to be a little more active throughout the day, and writing it in your calendar too, because a lot of people don't make time for it. Because if you don't kind of write it down or have it written somewhere, hey, today's Tuesday, I'm going for my walk, just, sometimes sticky notes help too, right? Because it reminds you, like, okay, I got my sticky note here, I'm going to do it, I'm going to write this off, and you just set the timer and go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's just starting somewhere. I think for anybody, even myself, it's not easy. It's not easy to get going. So don't look for easy, but just every day be mindful. And if you can just do something every day to better yourself, to be, doing something to be active, cutting back the calories, you'll start seeing some changes. And when you start seeing some changes, then you're going to start building yourself you're going to start finding motivation, because you're going to see what you're doing is working. And not only motivation, you're going to start finding belief in yourself. Like, oh, I'm doing this, I can do this. Because also a lot of this is mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So then you start seeing that your actions, what you're doing, is really working. And so then you're like, well, if I lost that much weight doing that, well, this week, guess what? I'm going to go walk 4 times, and I'm going to cut back a little bit more on my food, or, what I'm saying? So it's just a daily process, and just keeping your goals in front of you, and realizing your goals are more, if your goals are really that important and you write them down and keep them in front of you, sometimes you have to ask yourself, okay, is it worth me going out and splurging and doing all this? Because it's going to mess my goal. What do I want more? Do I want to get healthy? Am I wanting to fit into that new dress, whatever your goal is. What's more important here? Because you have to focus, where you focus is where you go. So if you're focusing on getting into this, let's say, summer is coming 5 months, 6 months, you're going on a vacation and your goal is to be able to be in a swimsuit, then you keep a picture of a swimsuit somewhere that you can see on your phone or whatever, where your goal's in front of you. And then you have to ask yourself, that's my goal. That's where I'm focusing. Is this really that important to me? So like I said, everybody's different. Everybody works different in different ways, but there's just so many different things you can do to just stay on that path, write the goals down, write the actions down that you can. That's another big thing. I write about that in my book too, because I wrote a formula in my book on goal setting. And so it's F plus C equals M squared. So focus. So once you have your goal, we're going to focus on that goal, whatever it is. Like I said, we want to fit in this size dress. That's the goal. We're going to focus. And then I will have people write down 15 things they could do to get to that goal. 15, write them down. I don't care what they are. You think of everything that you could possibly do. And then I want you to circle 3 that you will commit to doing for the next 60, 90, 120 days. I mean, like you're going to do them like the sun rises to the sun sets. And when you do that, so when you're focusing and you're doing your actions and you're staying consistent, I can promise you, you're going to see results. And that is going to bring that motivation, which that motivation then brings momentum, like we talked about, because now you're getting so excited because, oh my goodness, I'm following this and I'm doing it. And it's super simple. And I wrote this out and the weight's coming off and I'm feeling happy and I'm feeling healthier. And now I'm going to push harder each week because now your belief in yourself is getting higher. So it all kind of works together.
Yeah. There's just so much we can talk about. I mean, the differences between men and women. I mean, the differences between like a normal blood sugar and a higher blood sugar. What can you do? What's the natural ways? What's the other ways? This and that. And the different, I mean, it's just so much. But all in all, you just have to be happy with where you are.
Right.
Understanding your body type and your DNA and what you're susceptible to and what works for you. Yeah.
And try new things, try things, because you might be like, oh, I've never liked cycling. I don't like that. And I always said that. And then I went and now I actually love the ride class. I'm like, okay, I love the soul cycle. Like I love that class. And, so don't be so quick to say no and to at least try it.
Right. Definitely try it. Definitely try it. Try it all.
Try it all. And you'll figure out what you do and don't like, right?
That's right. I hate the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah. The stairs are tough.
I don't like the stairs.
Yeah.
And especially since I'm nursing my knee back. So yeah, I don't like the stairs. The stairs can be hard on. So, I mean, taking, like I said, into consideration, maybe some aches and pains you may have, but all in all, we're all beautiful.
Exactly.
All beautiful. And we should love ourselves where we're at because tomorrow will be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, definitely. Well, where can people find you?
So I do have a website, maksymizing.life.com. And then all my handles on Instagram, Facebook is Maksymizing Life. Just try to make it simple across the board.
Awesome. Well, we're going to have all that information in the description box below, as well as that link to her book. Yes. So you can find out for yourself and kind of cut those corners. Let her experience guide you into your future. I'm telling you, I am just so excited for you. Thank you, Valerie, for being on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, let's see if we can get Valerie back because we got to ask her a few questions because she's a bodybuilder and I can already see that she's got like a buff going on that I got the fluff, she's got the buff. I got the fluff and we need to work on that. But until next time, guys, bye.